Peace and blessings is real. First and foremost, I want to take this time and give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh through His only begotten Son, Yahweh for allowing this word to come out. And I hope you sincere brothers and sisters is edified by this word. And the name of the lesson is going to be called, It Comes a Time Where You Put Your Ego and Pride to the Side and Humbly Act Mature. I'm going to say it again. The name of the word tonight is going to be, It Comes a Time Where You Put Your Ego and Pride to the Side and Humbly Act Mature. In the world that we live in, it's a lot of pride and ego that's dominating the things that we do in life. It dominates how we deal with people, how we interact with people. It's really a serious handicap. And in this word, I want to show you where it comes a time, man, where you have to put your ego and pride to the side and humbly act mature. A lot of us have unnecessary beefs going on. A lot of us have unnecessary falling out with loved ones, family members, and whatnot. Business partners, co-workers, family, friends, you name it. A lot of us are involved in these fallouts simply because we won't put our ego and pride to the side and humbly act mature, man. It's a sad thing, but in society, man, this is what we have. In this word, what I hope to do is to inspire someone to be grown enough to put their ego and pride to the side, admit that they wrong, and move on with life. For some reason, man, people's ego and pride will not let them do the right thing. Like, when you let your ego and pride get in the way, what's really happening is you're deviating from what's right, running to what's wrong, and making it up in your mind that it's cool to do it that way. That's the danger of your ego and pride, man. In Proverbs 11:2, it reads, When pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. I want you to really pay attention to that scripture because that scripture says a whole lot, man. I'm going to repeat it again. In Proverbs 11:2, it reads, When pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. So in other words, when it talks about pride, it's talking about those that's drunk off haughtiness, those that's arrogant, those that are high-minded. It says, when pride cometh, when pride enter in, when haughtiness, arrogance, and high-mindedness enter in, then cometh shame, then cometh dishonor. You dishonor yourself. It's a dishonor, man. In Proverbs 11:2, it says, But with the lowly is wisdom. The lowly would be those open to being humiliated. So the lowly is those that's open to being humiliated. And with those that are open to being humiliated, they gain prudence. You see that? That's beautiful, man. When you lowly, you obtain wisdom. Wisdom symbolic to prudence, man. And I'm telling you, man, it comes a time where you have to put your ego and pride to the side and humbly act mature. Now, did you know pride is a sin? According to Proverbs 21:4. Pride is a sin, man. And did you know the Lord hate those that are proud? According to Proverbs 6:16 and 17, as well as Proverbs 6:25. And did you know pride hardens the mind, according to Daniel 5:20? Now, I want us to really stay there for a minute. Pride hardens the mind, according to Daniel 5:20. And as I analyze that, you got to think about it, man. Pride hardens the mind. That's so true. Because pride will blind you from what's right and wrong. And it will keep you in a toddler mindset versus an adult mindset. Once pride hardens your mind, you turn into, like you see on the screen, you see this toddler, this young boy. This is what happens to a grown man when pride hardens his mind. He puts himself in a toddler mindset versus a grown man mindset, which is devastating, man. When it comes to being humble, lowly minded, to be humble, you have to be able to submit yourself. When you humble, you have to be willing to bow down. You see? In Sirach 3:19, it says, many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek. You see that? So the meek, man, get the jewels. The meek get the mystery secrets and codes. You see? But it says many are in a high place and of renown. That's exactly what the proud are. They in a high place in their mind. They in a high place in their heart. But see, the mysteries are revealed unto the humble, unto the lowly, unto the meek. Why you think in Matthew 5:5 it tell you the meek shall inherit the earth, man? You see that? The meek, man. The humble ones. So again, it comes a time where you put your ego and pride to the side and humbly act mature, man. Yeah, if you going through a thing right now in your family, whether it's a spouse or whether it's a sibling or a parent for that matter, at some point you have to put your ego and pride to the side and humbly act mature. You got to be the bigger person sometimes. Even though you might feel like you was wronged, you have to be the bigger person, man, and come to the table and say, hey, listen, we both adults here, and I was dead wrong for what I did. How can we get past this? That's how you put your ego and pride to the side and humbly act mature. That's how you do it, man. But a lot of us will not put our ego and pride to the side. And when you do that, all you doing is demonstrating what you see on the screen. Your toddler brain is dominating your adult body. Proverbs 16:18 to tell you, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. That's twofold. Proverbs 16:18 again, pride goeth before destruction. In other words, man, your pride is setting you up to be a train wreck ready to happen. Yeah, it's telling you that your pride, man, is going to lead you to an already set train wreck, man. It says, and a haughty spirit before a fall. A high-minded spirit, an arrogant spirit. It says, Proverbs 16:18, pride goeth before destruction. But catch this. It says, and a haughty spirit before a fall. I'm going to give you a beautiful example of what's a haughty spirit before a fall. That's someone that's so high they can touch the sky above the falling rain, but at the same time they blind to the fact they on the edge of the cliff with no parachute, and they destined for all kind of ruin and destruction, man. That's a beautiful example of a haughty spirit before a fall. You so high that you can touch the sky above the falling rain, but you blind to the fact that you on the edge of the cliff with no parachute. So when you fall off of there thinking that it's sweet, your ass on your way to ruin and destruction. Yeah, man, cold-blooded, man. What's the name of the word, man? It comes a time where you put your ego and pride to the side and humbly act mature, man. And in 1 Corinthians 13 and 11, it reads, when I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Now I want you to pause and think about that scripture right there. 1 Corinthians 13 and 11, it says, when I was a child, that means when I was a kid in a kid's body, just like you see on the screen, when I was at this stage of my life, I spake at that stage of my life. I spoke as a child would. You know, a child, you know how a child speaks, especially if you have children. I got a 10-year-old granddaughter. And the way that she speaks like she's 10 years old. She don't speak like she's 35, 40, 45 years old. She speak exactly how a child would speak. And she think just like how a child would think. You see? But dig this. It says, but when I became a man, when I became at the stage of maturity, I put away childish things. In other words, I stopped doing toddler shit, man. And I start doing grown shit. And when you grown, you have to know how to put your ego and pride to the side and humbly mature yourself, man. But because of pride, people ain't going to stop doing toddler things as an adult. Yeah, man. It's cold-blooded, man. Like I said, man, when I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. I stopped doing toddler shit. Put down the video games, man. Put down the video games, man. When you wrong and you know you wrong, own that, man. Own that. Fix that situation, man. Don't let your pride and ego cause you to ruin something, man. I mean, you got relationships, all type of situations, business relationships, personal relationships, marriages and whatnot. All of these entities are struggling because no one wants to be mature enough to put their ego and pride to the side and humbly act mature, man. When you wrong, you wrong. See, I've been put away my ego and pride. I've been put my ego and pride to the side and humbly act mature. You have to, man. I'm 47 years old. When I'm wrong, I know I'm wrong. You ain't got to tell me I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong. And I'm grown enough to admit, you know what? My fault. You know what? I was dead wrong for that. You know what? I didn't handle that right. You know what? I misspoke. You know what? I didn't mean to say what I said. You know what? Man, I was wrong. I was wrong. Now let's fix whatever it is and move on. That's how you put your ego and pride to the side, okay? You have to be able to be humiliated. You have to be able to be lowly. You have to be able to submit oneself. You have to be willing to bow down. If you can't do that, man, you're never going to get to the humbly act mature stage because you too high-minded, man. You too haughty. Your arrogance has dominated you. But I've seen many people, man, ruined because of their ego and pride. I'm telling you, man, it comes a time where you put your ego and pride to the side and humbly act mature. Because the way I see it, a lot of you grown-ass men and women are out here looking just like dude on the screen. Even though you might be in your 40s, you might be in your 50s, but this is exactly what you acting like, what you see on the screen. You acting like a a little boy. Grow up, man. Shalom.